that had used that. I kind of think it was Grafton, because if I remember correctly, they were using help from the jail to do their laundry. And so consequently, I have to think that they were using laundry, they were doing the laundry from the jail as well. And so I think we could answer that a little better if we get in touch with them and see if they had any problems with regard to their septic system as well.
That was gonna be my next question. Do they have a septic system or are they on public sewer?
I don't know.
Oh, they must have a septic system.
I don't know. I've never
Yeah.
had
Grafton
it.
County is way out.
Given where they are, I would say they have a septic system, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't swear to that.
They're way out. Rural.
And I don't know, but it seems to me there was also a question of supervision of people
Yeah,
who were using,
And we have
folks
to-
from the jail.
But they were using it, so we could ask them
Right,
how they overcome any problems that they have.
What do we do if the jail goes on lockdown for a day?
You don't do the laundry.
Bingo.
You'd have to learn how to do laundry.
I guess you have to have some sort of backup system.
How are we doing? More questions? Yes, go ahead.
Just,
Comments?
I think, I just feel like we're at a point where we really need to get something structured out of the possibilities to begin to attack it. Unless there are new possibilities to come, and they keep coming. I mean, storage was something that we really haven't talked about, that I think is, we need to be serious about. But I think we need to have some sense of sort of where we see commitments the strongest, down to where we have sort of the weakest, or they're just sort of kind of wish list sorts of things. And to see whether, sort of what the volume of space is that we need to talk about seriously. And we need to sort of see the argument in a sense, and the problems that arise from imagining this as a use of space sort of laid out, so we can kind of go through it systematically, as Joe suggested. And I don't think we can do that. I think if we try to do that now, we're just going to tie ourselves up. So
Okay.
I'd like to leave it.
Yeah, right, okay.
I, for one, would like very much to have somebody that perhaps drew these up to take me on a little tour down there and show me exactly where these things are going and how you propose to do it and where you propose to do this or that.
Rob, can you arrange that right after this meeting?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
there you go. Yes.
I really liked Representative McConaughey's idea that we get a clear estimate of 4 wings being taken down and testing for asbestos.
We can do that, yep. That's the easy portion of the job. Go ahead.
Have we gone through the process of selecting a construction manager?
No, we have not.
Architect, any of that?
We have not,
Has it been
and
sent out?
the bids have come in. I have them here. We can make copies of them, at least the top 2, I think. The others, there were 2 from Texas. I don't think we want somebody from Texas. I mean, that shows how well our advertisement went out. But I think these others wouldn't cut the mustard with these 2 here. This one from Meredith and Boniface Stone, the one is currently doing our new nursing home. The top 2, and I think if this committee feels that, and I think we should, have them come in for an interview and ask them questions and decide then as to which one we hire. I kind of like to do that fairly quickly, because June is just around the corner. I don't want to have the expense of storing those furnaces that for the pellet furnaces. Yeah, maybe they come in a crate, maybe we can throw a top over them and put them outside. But yet the storage tank that's going to hold the pellets needs a cement pad. That will be arriving also in June. and it comes on a truck with a hoist that would put it right in the spot where it belongs, would stay.
The
So-
silo or the pad?
The silo will be here in June. Pad needs to be done ahead of
You have
time.
to pour the pad.
We have to pour the pad, we have to put the double doors in, and somebody needs to do that. And that's why I think we need to get a construction manager company on board, not only to give us estimates of what it's gonna cost to roof just the core section, and whatever else that's in the EGA report that you have. Electricity, some of that needs to be done over. I believe all the lighting was changed to a T8, which is ahead of this building, from a T12 to a T8, so it is saving electricity presently. And so there's some things that I think we need to get estimates on that we're not qualified to give, and I'm not sure if anybody here is qualified to give estimates as to what it's gonna cost to do electrical or plumbing or anything else that has to be done. So I guess I'd throw that on the table. Yes, Ms. Lowry?
I don't want you to lead these folks astray. The electrical and plumbing for the pellet boilers are
I'm
designed.
talking about the whole facility.
Right. The installation of the pellet boilers in that building, that cost has already been
Mhm.
taken care of. That's not part of this project that this committee's talking about.
Right, but somebody has to
I can
do
see the
it.
benefit of having a construction manager on board prior to those things going in, just for continuity's sake,
Yeah.
but it's not gonna change the dollar numbers at all.
Right, okay, I agree with you. I was talking about the whole facility, anything that is done for cooperative extension, moving walls,
Right.
electricity, whatever. We need to have somebody give us an estimate of what it's gonna cost. Representative McConkey?
Thank you. One of the most interesting things that I enjoyed reading all the past minutes, at least the ones that were provided for the building committee for the nursing home, was that the conversation from the very beginning was, what is it that we would like? What is it something that, the things that are, kind of make the place nice and so forth. And after you collected that, you went right to bid, and we came out with some options that maybe if we'd spent more time on, might have turned out different. I'm concerned that we go and hire a consultant or a project manager here before we know what it is exactly that we're going to do and what we're going to build. We've got an immediate need that we're gonna need to house our pellet heating system somewhere. But to be pushing a project ahead when we don't even know what we're taking down, what we're going to do, and what our needs are, I would caution that might be premature.
But then how do we get estimates as to what we should be doing? What is it gonna cost to roof the core section? What's it gonna cost?
I would say that the people that are in charge are several months behind where we should be right now. And that the need to continue to rush forward quickly is not so much, while it's a need, I don't think the county's ever been in the proper frame of building buildings and doing things right. I think the person coming on, if you're going to push to that point right now to bring someone on, that person doesn't even know what they're overseeing, what they're building, and what the use is going to be.
Mr. Chair.
I would say that in the past, if things were done quality-wise, we wouldn't be in the fix that we're in with the roof on the old building. That was put in, it was put in very cheaply, and it shows now that it wasn't very effective. It leaks, you can't crawl in there, it's only 18 inches in the center of the pitch of the roof. It was done very quality, and I agree with you, we don't want to rush into anything, but yet, we need to have somebody on board soon so that we know which direction we're gonna go and what is it gonna cost. Do we do it or don't we do it? These estimates here are based on, I believe, on the percentages of what we would spend. This one is like 4%, this one here is 3.5%, or whatever we decide money-wise.
I think,
A couple of points, following up on comments that have already been made. I think Chip makes a very good point in that the key decisions that we have to make regarding the furnaces and so forth, those are already taken care of. That's correct. And then getting back to the point that Mark was making, I have a concern too that we get too far ahead. We're planning for things that we haven't planned. We really need to have the concepts in place. We don't have the concepts in place. So I have a concern about that. And that being the case, how would we be paying for the administrator or the supervisor? Would that be a flat payment? Would it be as needed? Or how would we be paying for this? In other words, we could get into something that we do on an ad hoc basis, if that's the way we're paying. But I don't think we want to commit ourselves to a set amount of money for something that we're not knowing yet.
I yield to Dorothy.
I just want to keep one thing in mind here. It is the cooperative extension lease is up October of 2012. So we have at this point, just over a year to make decisions and get that place ready for at least for the cooperative extension to get in there. That doesn't give us a whole lot of time.
On the other hand, a lot of that is interior work that could be done all winter long, except for the roof.
And let's not forget that I have an immediate need in that building. I need to have a maintenance shop of some sort.
What are you doing for maintenance shop now?
I'm in the storage
That's
shop,
where the boilers are
which is where the boilers are.
And that's what we're putting in there, okay?
Yeah, as soon as the boilers get ready to be installed, I'm out.
I would be inclined to agree with Mark, and number one, we know the boilers are gonna get in. That's gotta be done.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're gonna do it. But the rest of it, if it takes another month longer or so to do it, it makes sense to me. I don't
Okay.
think we should just,
What was it?
I recognize you need storage area. Maintenance area, but still.
Okay. Mr. Albee?
And I know it's Monday, but just to remind everybody, this is the first building committee meeting
Yeah.
that's been held.
Yeah.
Looking back at the process, and I respectfully disagree with Representative McConkey about the process of the new nursing home. We had, I forget, maybe 60 or 70 meetings of the building committee before we actually had that thing finally fleshed out. I think
Just
all
seems
the
like-
questions that have come up this morning need to be answered, but that's a process that's gonna go on for the next few months. At which point we can come to some sort of agreement as to where we're going in a large sense, whether it's just the core or just the core and parts of wings. And then, but without, as Commissioner Sorensen says, without some sort of professional guidance as to cost, we're sort of shooting in the dark there.
I guess the question comes up is how do we pay for one of these people to do the estimate ahead of time? Based on, I think we'd like the new nursing home, based on percentages.
But the percentages only kick in when you decide to do the project, and that's
That's true.
something the delegation's gonna elect to
Yeah.
vote on. I think that there was a little bit of money left over that the cooperative extension had that was earmarked towards this sort of project.
Right now, there's $30,000 in cooperative extension capital reserve fund. We spent $7,000, that brought it down, and then they turned in like $23,000, I believe. So we got roughly $30,000 right now in a capital reserve fund. That could be used with delegation approval.
So, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I just want to come back to, if our project were to run over a month or two, then I'm sure that the gentleman or woman that's renting our space to Rhiannon Hamilton up north would give us an extended 1 or 2 month. I'd be very surprised if that space is already sold, it's gonna go to someone else.
Probably not.
Probably not. Number 2, on maintenance, we have, if we look at our campus, we have a tremendous amount of space. Will has a building over there that's absolutely huge, that if we had to put a couple of our trucks outside for 1 or 2 months, heated, warm space, all the space in the world over there for his immediate needs. If we just spend a little time coordinating when the hay has to be housed, where we're gonna put things, we can take care of a couple, 3 months. We have no need to rush this for a couple, 3 months. I understand to the layman looking at a project,